Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to my channel, The First Time Gardener. I'm your host, Ed Froelich, and today we are in the process of doing another DIY. Today I'm going to show you how to build a raised bed garden. It's going to be about 40 inches tall. I'm going to give you all the dimensions and we're going to build it step by step. And I'm going to do this for my sister because she just has a tough time with her back and her knees trying to get down on the gardening area, so I'm trying to make this a little bit easier for her to do. So I figured I'd bring you guys along, show you how I build it, so maybe you want to build one for yourself in your backyard. Today's wood we're going to be using is going to be all pressure treated because it's going to be in her backyard and it's going to be out in the weather, so I wanted to use pressure treated. But you could actually build the same thing with, say, cedar or fir. Fluctuate and use whatever kind of wood you want, but this is going to be outside all the time, so we are using PT. So stick around. I'm going to show you the lumber. I just got back from Lowe's. I'm going to show you the lumber I bought, and then we're going to put it together. Okay guys, I'm just going to give you a quick run over of what I bought, and then we're going to set up, and I'm going to pre-cut everything, and then once I get everything pre-cut, we're going to put this thing together. So we got this at Lowe's. These are 2x8s by 10 foot long. I've got two of those. Then I have, these are 5/4 by 6 by 10 foot long, and these are what we're going to put on the very bottom to hold the soil in. And then we have two 4x4 by 8 foot long, and these are going to be our legs on all four corners. Okay, let me get this all set up, my table saw and all that stuff, and I'm going to pre-cut all these, and I'll show you the cut list at the end of this video, and I will show you the pieces cut and explain how we're going to put this together. So we'll be back in just a minute. Okay guys, we got everything cut. We're going to go down here and I'm going to show you how many pieces of what I've got cut and the sizes. I didn't bother putting on video cutting every piece because it just takes a lot of time, but I put a little bit on there so you get the idea of how to cut them. So let's go down here and I'll show you what we have. Right here are our side pieces. They are pressure treated 2x8s. And we cut them at 60 inches long, and there's 4 of those. And then here is our 4x4s. We cut 4 of those at 36 inches each. And that's going to be our legs. That's going to be the height of our table, 36 inches. And then we have 4 of the sides right there. They're going to be attached on the ends here to those, and we're going to show you how to do those. But we need 4 of those, and they are cut at 23 inches. Now I'm going to have to confess I didn't have enough wood of PT. I should have got one more 2x8 by 10, but I didn't. And I had this over here. This is yellow, heart of yellow pine. It's a number 2 yellow pine, which will last as long as this is going to. Anyway, it's the sides, but everything else, the bottom, the main sides are all PT. So if you want to make those PT, you need an additional board of the 2x8 by 10 foot to get those pieces out and make sure you have enough. And then here is our 5/8 by 6 deck board. We have 9 of those, and they are cut at 26 1/8 inches wide, and that's going to be the bottom board, the bottom of our planter. That's what's going to hold the soil in, and we are going to have a gap in between those. They're not going to be put tight together so that we have area for the water to drain, and when we put it together we'll show you what gap we have and give you the size. Okay guys, so I'm going to set this up clean up a little bit, get the area ready, and then where you're going to put these together using deck screws. Remember, in the last video I showed you we always use screws instead of nails because nails will pull out of the wood with the expansion and contraction. So you want to definitely use screws. We're using two different sizes. We're using a 2-inch screw, deck screw that's going to do the decking on the bottom of the 5/8 board, and then we're using a 3-inch screw to put everything together on the big bulky stuff, the 2x10s and the 4x4s. That's going to be 3-inch screws. So let me get this cleaned up, and we're going to get down there and show you how to put this together real quick. All right, guys, we're going to do this on the table, just so it's a little easier and you can see better before we go down to the ground. So these are your going to be your inner sides. The 4x4s, of course, are your posts from the ground. They're 36 inches tall. So we are going to put this on the inside. So this is going to be the inside of your box where the dirt's going to be. So what we want to do is we want to true that up. We're going to do this one side here, and then I'll true the other side up. Now, like we did in the other box, 5-gallon bucket garden, we pre-drill our holes with 1/8 inch a drill bit so that we don't split this wood. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to put a few screw. All right, we're going to do that now. I'm going to drill a couple holes. And then I have my electric drill. We are going to put this 3-inch deck screw into there. And I like this, I don't know if you can see it, but it is a star bit. I like the star bits even better than the Phillips because they don't strip as easy when you're trying to put this stuff in. Phillips have a tendency to wobble out. Okay, now I'm going to check this other side here and get that flush. You want the top, this is the top, so you want the top flush and the sides flush, and we're going to put one screw in here, and then I'm going to make sure it's square. All right. All right, that side's square, this side's squared, so I can go ahead and put another screw in there. All right, so now I'm just going to put 2 more screws in each side here. Okay, so now we're going to put our second board down, and this is going to create your 18-inch depth, 16-inch depth, so that you got plenty of now you don't have to go this deep. You can use 2x6s instead of 2x8s, but I wanted it deep enough that my sister could grow anything she wanted. So you could grow carrots in here, because carrots grow, you can get varieties that grow 8 to 10 inches. So, they go in here. So basically anything, you could grow cabbage, broccoli. So I just wanted something that would, depth that would grow anything particular that she would want to grow. So, and then this is dirt's going to be in here, so I'll just say put the ugliest side into the dirt. Doesn't really matter. All right, so we're going to put a couple screws in each side. All right, put the other 2 screws on each side, and this is one side done. All right, guys, that's one side. I'm going to put this down and put the other side up here and do that as well. And then after I get that other side done, I'll show you how we put our sides on. Okay, guys, so we have both the ends done. This is the inside of the boxes. These are your legs going down to the ground, 4x4. So this is, all right, so this is a depth of 14.5 inches we have for growing space. And this is going to be the bottom where all the slots are going to be on to hold the dirt. This is the top here facing me, just so you kind of get perspective of where we're at. So now across from here to here, we're going to do our 60-inch boards, which is going to be the width of our grow table. Now these boards, we're going to the outside of the legs to help support the legs from wiggling, as well as tying these boxes together so that they're nice and sturdy. So we have almost 60 inches here. I'll bring it back a little bit. Okay. So now these are, we're going to start with the top facing me, which is going to be the top side of your table. So we're going to square it up the best we can by eye, and then we're going to put an actual square on it to make sure that it's as square as possible. Okay, so square. All right, so we're going to get a speed square. Okay, now that we're closer, so this edge here is what you want to square this board up this way. So we're going to get our square, put it on the leg, and we're going to look and see. Now we have a little gap. We're flush here. We want to make sure we're flush here. All right, so we're flush there. But this leg needs to go that way just a bit. So we're going to tap it just a little bit. And that looks pretty square there. Just got to do this here. So you might have to play around with this a little bit till you get it perfect. All right, so we're flush here. I'm flush on the top right here, and this is square here. So we're good to go right there. We're going to put 2 screws in here just to hold it in place. Now what I'm doing is I'm screwing into the 4x4, and then I'm also going to put 2 screws into the wood, which will actually tie it together, and it won't go nowhere. It won't shift anywhere. So we're going to drill a pilot hole. I'm going to do one up top into the 4x4. Alright, then I'm going to get my electric drill, And at this point we're still using the 3-inch screws because we want to get a good bite. And I don't know if you can see how much, once it's recessed, you can see almost that whole length of screws there is going into the 4x4. So you're getting a really good bite. Okay, so now before we put the rest of the screws in here, I'm going to go down to the other end and square that up with this square here. So we have that. I have the outside flush and I have the top flush. So, and it's square to this leg here. So we're ready to put a couple screws in there to hold it together. So now that I know everything is square up on top, I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my screws in. I'm going to put 2 more into the 4x4 and then 2 into the plank here. And then we're going to flip it over, do the other side, and then we're going to do the second board down here. All right, let me go finish putting the screws in there. Okay guys, so that is the attachment, finished attachment of the first piece on the top. What we're going to do before we put this bottom piece on, the second piece, we are going to flip it over, make sure that we're trued and squared on the other side. I'm going to do it just like I did this. Once I get that done, we'll bring you back and I'll show you the bottom boards. Okay guys, I moved it down to the ground because this thing was getting heavy. And I didn't want to try to get it down from that table because it's not as strong as I'd like it to be. But anyway, we got the top 2 sides on. Now we're going to put the second one on. Now everything is squared up on the legs, so we don't have to worry about squaring all that up. All right, let's drill the other side. All right, guys, we'll flip this over and put the other side on. I'm going to drill 2 holes in each side right now because I ran out of screws. I'm going to have to run up to the hardware store I got to check in the garage first. I might have a couple in the garage. I only need a few to finish up. All right, guys. Well, let me go. I got to see if I can, if I have any more 3-inch screws, deck screws. If not, I'm going to have to take a quick run up to the hardware store, and I'll be right back. And then we're going to put the bottoms in, and I'll show you how we do that. All right, guys. I found some 3-inch screws in my garage, deck screws. I just had to change the bit out because the ones I have are Phillips and not the star bit. So we're good to go. I'm going to finish this up here. See what I mean about Phillips? They don't do as well as the star bits. You really got to put some pressure on them. All right, guys, I am going to just finish buttoning this up, and then when we start putting the bottom slots on there, I'll bring it back to you. This is the underneath part. You won't see this part once you turn it over. You'll see it from the inside, but the dirt will cover it up. So basically what I'm going to do is these two ends, this end and this end, I'm going to go ahead and fasten. And then these are just loose right now. I'm just going to maneuver these a little bit so we have a gap, even gaps in between these last two that I screw in. And we're using 2-inch screws on this one. And again, we will we'll drill a pilot hole on each of these to go into the 2x4s so that they don't split the wood. All right, so that's what we're going to do now. I'm using the same drill bit, 1/8 inch bit. I'm putting this right against the leg, and I'm going to put 2 screws in each one. All right, guys, these are 2-inch screws. We switched back over to the star bit because these are star bit screws, which I like better. And we're not going to try to countersink these too far I don't want them too far in the wood. I want them just to the edge, holding the wood. Just like that. All right, now I'm going to do the other end, and then we're going to space the ones in the middle, and once we get the spacing right, we'll finish it up. All right, let me get this other one situated, get the spacing, and then I'll show you the spacing, and we'll finish this project up. Okay guys, there it is. It's actually a monster, weighs a ton. But I probably build it a little different, maybe some lighter wood. But here's the inside. You got a nice deep bed, so you can grow anything you want in here. All right, that's it. I'm gonna go deliver it to my sister, see what she thinks of it. All right, guys, once it's all set up in the place where we're gonna have it, I'll bring it back to you and show you. I've got a question about, somebody was saying about the PT that this pressure treated stuff, the chemical could leach into the soil. So I'm thinking about putting some plastic up on the sides and the bottom, and just cutting slots in here in the plastic. You guys know anything about it? Give me some ideas if you do. I've heard that the EPA has changed the way they have to pressure treat it, and the chemicals they use now, because of runoffs and stuff, doesn't hurt. So, and I've heard otherwise too, that it leaches into your vegetables. So I don't know. If you know anything about that, leave it in the comments below, or give me a shout out, or let me know. I'd be interested to know that. So, all right guys, I'm going to deliver this to my sister, and we'll see you after a bit. No, don't go away.
Oh, you want me?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't put my good stuff on.
Okay, well just stay right there for a minute. All right guys, Ed Froelich from First Time Gardener back at you. I wanted to bring you over to my sister's house and show you the finished product, where we put it in the yard, and hopefully she'll have many days of happy gardening with this here. So here's my sister Trudy.
Hi, what a surprise, a nice surprise.
Yeah.
I hope I can grow some good stuff in there like he has in his garden.
Oh yeah, nice. I'm sure you will. So here's what we got. It is sitting, she has a little stone patio, which is almost made like just for it, for the width of it.
Just the right size. And
you can see, like I was saying, I wanted to make it level to almost waist height so that she can plant in here without having to bend over and stuff. So it looks good. Now because of the question about whether the chemicals from being pressure treated will leach into the soil and get into the growing plants, Trudy's decided we're going to go ahead and line this with some plastic, and that will prevent any of the leaching over there. And then I've got soil, hopefully enough soil right here to fill this up. So anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope this is a project that you might try at your house, and I will have a parts list at the end of this video attached so you can do a screenshot, so you'll know all the pieces and the parts that you need to put this thing together. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you would. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until we see you next time, thank you. God bless. Be safe. Happy gardening. We'll see you on the next one.